little song for us about the authority of Jesus. So kids, if you would, you want to come up here to the front. We've got a few seats for you. You can come over here toward the piano if you want, and sit over by Mr. Osborne, and he's got a little song for us today. Thanks, Dave.
It's not really a song. The worship team told me that if I start singing, they'll turn it off, so I'm only allowed to speak with the microphone. That's why I'm behind the piano. So where are all the kids at? Everybody that's a kid or wants to be a kid. You guys can come over to sit on the floor if you want to. You can come closer. Sit on the floor, that's okay. So I'm going to read you a passage of scripture first, and I'll get into my poem, I guess. So this is from Mark chapter 4, verse 35. It says, "On that day when the evening had come, he said to them," Jesus, "Let us go across to the other side." And leaving the crowd, they took with him in the boat just as he was. And other boats were with him, and a great windstorm arose, and the waves were breaking into the boat, so that the boat was already filling. But he was in the stern asleep on the cushion, and they woke him and said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" And he awoke and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Peace, be still." And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. He said to them, "Why are you so afraid? Have you still no faith?" And they were filled with great fear and said to one another, "Who is this that even the wind and the sea obey him?" So that was a lot of stuff for you guys. So I kind of changed the words around and put it into a little poem. But first, you can listen to it. I'm here to talk about Mark chapter 4, but there's a few things that I want to say before. The leaders of the church have been meeting and praying for a new addition to the staff. That's what they've been saying. Society is changing faster and faster. Darren emailed, "We've got to raise up church planners, missionaries, and pastors." Do read the emails. The need right now is for a pastoral resident. The elders have found one that they think is excellent. How to fill the position could have been a dilemma, but God brought candidate Jason Harms, his kids, and his wife Emma. When he first attended college, where did he go? The home of the Rockets, University of Toledo. Now, Jason's not the first from Toledo to Tampa, see? In 2006, the Bucks drafted Toledo quarterback Bruce Gradkowski. The church leaders are looking for someone to answer the call, as Darren sent his email, to formalize approach to leadership development overall. Jason attended Toledo to become a medicine man, to study to be a pharmacist, but God had a different plan. Instead of spreading pills and putting them in a bottle, God wanted him to spread the good news of the gospel. Shortly thereafter, Jason returned home to Cleveland to seek the Lord's direction. That was the reason. Now, when LeBron James returned to Cleveland, people said Return of the King, but we as Christians know Return of the King has a greater spiritual meaning. Getting people to follow Jesus and be leaders, that's the goal. And with Jason's experience and passion, the elders think he's fit for the role. I've mentioned Jason and Emma, but not his kids, so don't blame me. They have 4 children named Hudson, Elliot, William, and little Amy. Now, unless I talk about Mark chapter 4, Darren's definitely not letting me come up here anymore. All right, this is for the kids. The section begins with Jesus in a boat on a lake. He taught by parables when he spoke, or in the King James Version, he spake. Couldn't think of something to rhyme with lake. He was in a lake. Do you kids know how to spell lake? Who knows how to spell lake? You kids down here, how do you spell lake? Spell it out, let me hear it. L-A-K-E. All right, say it again. L-A-K-E. But most people believe it was the Sea of Galilee. A little bit earlier, where he was preaching before, all the people were standing up on the shore. When evening came and the sun goes to hide, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's go to the other side." I bet Jesus was tired and needed to unwind. The disciples in the boat left the crowd behind. Out of nowhere came a squall. A squall means a big windy storm with a lot of rainfall. Waves and water started to fill up the boat, and the disciples were scared because they didn't think the boat was going to float. If Christian music was a around back then, which wouldn't have been the norm, the disciples could have sang Casting Crowns song, "We'll Praise You in the Storm." The disciples were scared. It was faith they did lack. Did they not remember who was sleeping in the stern, which on a boat means the back? The wind and water were crazy against the boat, and the disciples couldn't man it. There is someone that controls the wind and the water, and it's not Captain Planet. From the east to the west, and North Pole to South Pole, we always have to remember that God is in control. This one's a little bit of a stretch. This is true. Emma grew up in France, which reminds me of Twyla Paris. She's saying God is in control, which goes with this lesson, so I wanted to share it. So we're going to start over again, kids, from the beginning to the end, so please pay attention, all my little friends. Jesus and the disciples were going to the other side, but Jesus was in the boat and the disciples were still terrified. The disciples were scared and thought that they were going to drown. All the water was coming in the boat and the boat was going down. Thank you. The disciples were scared, and in a panic and a rush, they woke up Jesus and he told the waves to hush. The disciples were scared and things were looking grim, but Jesus said, "Quiet, be still," and the wind and waves obeyed him. Now children, just like the adults and just like me, I bet you guys get scared, probably. Pretend your life is a boat. If you have fears, you paddle faster and faster, but remember, God is in control, and all that worrying and paddling doesn't matter. The boat was rocking with a lot of force, but I want you kids to remember that Jesus is our protection force. This is the last page. You might have a few fears or maybe one big concern, but children, remember that Jesus is with you like he was with the disciples in the stern. If you ever get scared and you don't know what to do, always remember that Jesus is with you. Now I want you guys to say this with me, the kids. I'll say it a couple times and you can come with me. When I get scared, I think the Sea of Galilee, and I remember that Jesus is always with me. Think you guys can do that? Nobody? One of you maybe? Okay, let's try it again. When I get scared, I think the Sea of Galilee, and I remember that Jesus is always with me. One more time. When I get scared, I think the Sea of Galilee, and I remember that Jesus is always with me. Larry, I almost got a longer applause than you. I was surprised. I'm going to go ahead and pray. So the worship team.